at any time, anything can be taken away from you. So, I just continue to work hard, stay humble and pray.
Well, the first time I met Nico, he came out for freshman football, and you could tell he was going to be a really good player. When he was in the 9th grade off-season program and he was working out in here, I don't even know if he remembers this, but I think he received an offer right then in the weight room because they saw his frame, and the kid's 13, 14 years old. They're like, you got an offer.
What makes Nico such a highly regarded prospect? First, you look at him, he's about 6'5", coming up on 200 pounds. And then you actually watch him play, and he doesn't just look the part, he plays like it too. He'll go up and Randy Moss it over some smaller defenders, or even some defenders that are legitimately sized at about 6 foot or 6'1". So, he's a baller when the lights come on. He's got great hands, he's got very good speed, and he's 6'5".
There has been a day where we've had, an SEC school in the offensive office, defensive office, my office, and one standing in the hallway, all here to do their recruiting job.
You know how that goes. I'm from the state of Alabama, so yeah. A lot of people think I would stay in state, but really, I would go anywhere.
Look at guys like Clemson has come in after him. He's made some trips to Ole Miss. Florida State's a school. But yeah, it's pretty much a who's who of big-time powers around the country who have recruited Nico.
My first time talking to Coach Saban was I went down there my sophomore year. We went in the office with my first time ever talking to him, seeing him in person, really. It was kind of like all business about him. He was just serious. His office is like incredible, really. He sat down and pushed the button and closed the door. It was like, whoa. At the end, he was just like, he would offer you a scholarship. And, getting a scholarship from Coach Saban is kind of big because he's one of the best college coaches ever. So getting that from him personally, sitting there in front of him, talking to him, I kind of love that, really. And talking to him now, I'm gonna call him like in a few minutes. The more we talk, it just seemed like we getting closer. Really, I remember he called me. It was at the draft, NFL draft. It was kind of awesome because I heard him call the next draft pick, on the phone. That was an awesome experience.
You can't let a 6'5" guy who can run and catch like he does get out of state and go to an SEC rivals. He's already played at Bryant-Denny Stadium and Jordan-Hare Stadium, winning state championships or playing for a state championship. Had a big touchdown catch in last year's state championship game against Spanish Ford. And I think any Alabama fan that saw him out there would probably hoping that he'll be doing that again in a couple years.
I want to take care of my family. That's the first thing come to mind, my family. I'm just really willing to do whatever it takes. I'm gonna be able to make it and make it one day.
Who is standing out to you at this moment?
Georgia, Alabama, Florida State, Clemson, and Michigan.